All right, guys, we should be live now. It is Sunday, the 18th of July. We're here to talk a little MLB DFS, go through the main site here on DraftKings. Hopefully, everybody had a good night. Most of you can probably tell I had a good night watching the Bucks take on the Suns, so that was a lot of fun and entertaining. But we're here to talk baseball. So, are you ready to rock, Mr. Bellman?
I'm definitely ready to rock. Last night I played, barely played, just entered like a couple lineups in like the big $10, $15 GPP, whatever it was. And I stacked the Braves, who are really good. I stacked Houston. I picked Houston over the White Sox. Houston was awful. The White Sox were awesome. But then, I fell asleep and I saw that the Dodgers hit like 5 home runs in the late inning. So I was very happy I played for very light.
Yeah, Dodgers and Coors have not slouched on the run so far.
No, happy we don't have that on the slate.
I agree. I agree wholeheartedly. I'm also happy. Doesn't look like we have any real weather issues on this slate either, which is always kind of nice.
Yeah,
Brings us over.
I was going to say, we haven't broken a slate down like on the day of in a while, so I'm excited for this.
All right, as far as the big money pitchers go, so let's go Carlos Rodon up to the top. Do you have a personal favorite? You trying to use 2 of them, or are you going even smaller on all your guys?
I think Wheeler's got to be the favorite, because he's, for me, like in a really good spot. He's now averaging, all these guys are averaging about the same. Rodon, I'm not going to use against Houston. That's not for me. Corbin Burns, I think he's looked shaky-ish, especially since the sticky stuff and stuff. Not saying I want to like stack against him, but no interest in spending on him up there. It's Scherzer and Wheeler for me. Those are the 2 guys I'd love to get up to if I can. I don't know if you feel similarly or different.
Wheeler's my one. I like the other guys and stuff like that, but I don't love the spots they're in. I agree with you.
No.
I'm a big Max Scherzer fan, but San Diego is really good, and they make you work. So
the thing I like about Scherzer, like I just love the cut of his jib. Like this is a get up spot. I could see him. Like it's not. Listen, it's just not hard to see him being the highest scoring.
Well, here's the big question, though: are they going to send up any relief pitchers against him? Because if so, I'm out.
Yeah, seriously. That's just what a crazy. That's so baseball. Relief pitcher, his first ever, plate appearance from San Diego, 11 years in the minors. It's a granny off shirt. That's just insane. Nuts. Yeah, man, I'd love to pair these 2 guys. There's a couple cheaper guys and, mid-range guys I'm interested in a little bit. Opposing Burns, I am interested in Sonny Gray a little bit.
Yeah, how long was he on the IL for again?
Just the minimum time.
Okay.
It's risky-ish, but he's also, like, I think, affordable for his potential upside.
He is. He does not play well with your mantra. I know you don't like going up against teams that had nice comebacks the day before and stuff like that, but he's definitely owns upside at this price.
Like, I'd much rather get to Scherzer, but if I needed the 1,600, I could see myself using Gray. Probably over Musgrove, who I'm just kind of over.
Oh, I've been over Musgrove for a while. I said at the beginning of the year I thought he might be that guy. I took back that statement a month ago, and now he's done nothing to change that.
No, he hasn't at all. What did he do last start? I can't remember exactly. Yeah, very mediocre.
I think I wrote him up last time, and I'm like, I get it.
It was such an easy play because he's at home against Colorado, and he was under 8K. Like,
I think we had somebody else we went to on the slate. I don't remember who it was. I'm like, there's the common sense. Like, this guy hasn't gone over like 20 points in like 2 months. Like,
yeah, I'm with you.
plus your boy Soto's looking a little better too.
Yeah, a lot better.
So I do think there are cheaper guys that you could consider. Like, I don't hate Drew Smyly. I'm not excited about it, but Tampa strikes out a lot. He's got decent strikeout stuff. I think he's got every opportunity to get you a 20 spot today.
Yeah, I have no arguments with that.
You're never going to love it. You're never going to feel great about it. I think you said something a while back, too. Tampa K's a ton against left-handed pitching.
The most.
So, I mean, it's there. You're not going to feel good about it because he could also get hit, no questions about it. But he is, quote unquote, in play for me.
Yeah, I get that. I was looking at him a little bit. There's one like real cheap guy that I was looking at. I'm interested to see if there's anyone else you like.
I was looking at WILY Peralta a little bit today, and it was reminding me maybe he's found something because when he first came up with Milwaukee years ago, I mean, this guy was an all-star. He was good, and he's aged well recently. Yeah.
I can't remember him being an all-star. I'll take your word for it for sure.
It was this 2014 season, so we're going way back. He was good. I mean, he went 17-11 that year. He's not a monster strikeout guy.
I barely even remember him being a starter.
Yeah, he looked like an emerging, like, solid number 2 pitcher.
Okay, I like that call. Well,
things have gone pretty poorly in a few of the years since then, but he was pretty good in 2018, albeit in very limited innings.
Has he mostly been a reliever the past couple years?
I mean, I think he's done a little bit of everything. You're talking middle relief, later inning relief, starting. I think I've been just trying to catch what he used to have, and he's pitched well recently, but you're not going to feel good about it.
No, listen, I wish I'd used him a couple starts ago, but didn't. I was looking at Carlos Hernandez a little bit, even riskier than Peralta. Like, he's the flat minimum. I mean, he's not like fully stretched out, but again, he threw 60 pitches his last start. He used to be a starter as well. This could blow up in your face, but Brady Singer, or I think it was Brady Singer, got hit around in the second inning last night. They had to go early to the bullpen. If he's pitching well, like, I think he gets a decent length. Doesn't mean he's going to pitch well, but he's 4K. I don't know if you were looking at him at all.
Not really, but I like all the points. I like the 6 strikeouts in 3.2 innings last time out, which shows that he can hit some upside in limited innings. He could go 80 pitches today.
And Baltimore, like, yeah, they can hit someone like this, but they're also, like,
not that good.
Yeah, and like, they're one of the teams I'm willing to use a guy like this against.
Yeah, so, I mean, if you look down at these cheaper pitchers, the guy who's probably the best pitcher would be Colby Allard, but, like, you have any interest in throwing him against Toronto? No, none, right? Like, you'd much rather use Toronto than him.
Definitely. Much rather. Toronto's definitely more in play for me than him.
Okay. So I think for me, Smiley, Happ was pretty good last time out, but I'm still way more I'm looking more at the Detroit bats because they're really affordable. Peralta's not crazy, and if you want to get way down there, I completely understand. Like, I love Max Scherzer. You love Max Scherzer, but we don't love Max Scherzer today. But I completely see why you want to get there as your SP2.
Yeah, completely agreed. Yeah, for sure. Ideally, I can get to Scherzer and Wheeler, but I also like, as much as I think Smiley's in play, if I'm going to spend down, I think it'll be on either, Peralta or Hernandez all the way down.
Okay, I get that. All right, so it sounds like Wheeler's our top guy. Then there's a bunch of potential guys for SP2, and if you're playing multiple lineups, I think we've covered who it is we might be looking at. Let's talk through the offenses and figure out how much money you kind of plan on having. So
I just want to say real quick, and I don't know what the deal is. I'm seeing like the line on the Philly game is off, and a couple places. Like, I think there's a potential for Wheeler being scratched here and not pitching. That's what it looks like to me from an outside view. I don't know, so I'm just saying that going in.
All right, keep your eyes peeled then, folks, because that would be big.
Yeah, exactly.
We didn't touch on Taijuan Walker either, which I think he's a little pricier than I want to go, but I have no issue getting here with him either.
He was chalk in the same spot in the last slate he was on.
Yeah.
He was that muscle, I'm pretty sure.
Okay. He's looked a lot more human recently. This is a guy who's having a really, really nice year. I don't know, 9 days off. Maybe the break was good for him.
Yeah, maybe it was. I agree with you. I mean, no arguments with that one at all.
So I do think I'm probably not going to end up on him. But if all of a sudden Wheeler's scratched, well, then the list gets shorter.
I'm seeing it Zach Thompson versus Vince Velasquez.
Well, that changes a lot then.
A lot. Makes me feel a lot better about spending down on cheap pitching, though, to be honest.
Yeah, maybe it's a day to load up on good hitting. All right. As far as this game goes,
I'm not interested in the hitters, really. I think the Mets are, they've been better.
Lindor now.
Yeah, I'm not trying to prioritize in this ballpark.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one. Again, I brought him up a couple days ago. He was good, Conforto. He's cheap. He's a guy, like, if you want to play for some upside, he fits your lineup, cool. But, yeah, it's not a game I want offense. So this brings us over to this game now.
Yeah.
It seems like it's going to be a lot different. It was Zach Thompson.
Yeah, who he had been good at. Isn't he the one that had been really good?
Yeah.
Okay, so not necessarily looking to use him, but, like, this game goes from, Wheeler, who would like a lot at home, to now the Marlins could be in a good spot, in a much better ballpark for them. Like, they're not my favorite stack on the board, but I don't think they're crazy at all.
Yeah, guys, it's going to be difficult for us to talk about this game.
Yeah.
There's also, it's possible DK wipes it off the slate because they're already like iffy on the start time. Who knows? I don't know, to keep your eyes peeled. I don't want to spend a lot of time on it because we don't really know what's going on.
Yeah, I agree with you.
So we'll move on to the next one. San Diego against Washington. We got Musgrove against Scherzer. You had mentioned you really liked.
Wait, time out on that.
Okay.
What is there a double header for this game?
There's a suspended game.
Okay. There's a okay. It's okay. Maybe DK's right then. Maybe DK's right and Miami just doesn't have the starter. I'm not sure at all. I just wanted to throw it out there at the beginning. I didn't realize that they were playing like either a suspended or doubleheader game. So again, I would just keep your eyes peeled. Wheeler might end up being just fine, and I'm completely wrong here.
Okay. As far as going back to San Diego, Washington, you called out Juan Soto to have a big second half. We had been clamoring for this guy for about 3 weeks now, maybe even a month. Things were going to start moving. You talked about in the home run derby, he actually thought it would be an advantage for him because he was working on getting lift. Well, he started the second half with 2 home runs. He's expensive, but he should be because he's really, really good. And I don't fear Musgrove. So I'm going to guess you're going to get Soto today at probably very not over the top ownership.
Agreed. He's one of my favorite one-offs on the slate.
Yeah. I mean, this guy's an elite hitter who just wasn't great in the first half, but I could see him being the best hitter in baseball in the second half.
Same, like the best.
Yeah, I mean, sure, if you want to pick Tatis or Mike Trout when he comes back, cool, that's fine, but he's really good, and I like him as a one-off today as well.
There's just only a few guys you could see like being the absolute best. He's one of them.
Mm-hmm. The other guy in this game is a little interesting to me is you get Tatis at lower ownership than he ever is.
Yeah, he's another guy. He gets up for spots like this. And Scherzer is not unhittable. I mean, you prefer him to be lefty. Like, I like the Scherzer side more, but he's awesome. I mean, he runs. Like, they don't have yesterday's game log in here, which is weird.
Anyway, I brought up Tatis as a one-off last time they faced Scherzer. He homered off of him then. Like, he gets up for big spots, and Scherzer's been gotten by the game's best this year. Acuna, Vlad, and now Tatis, which is, kind of interesting.
And San Diego is on fire right now.
So, I'm not trying to get too aggressive on this one, but I like the elite hitters in this one.
Same.
Okay. Texas, Toronto. Do you have any reports yet on ownership and who's going to be chalky today?
Yeah, I do. It looks like Minnesota, Baltimore, and unfortunately Kansas City. And Kansas City looks awesome.
Yeah. Matt Harvey. So Toronto's not getting any love, really?
Toronto is not getting a ton of love as of now.
All right, so I guess one of the arguments for cheap pitchers would be to use Toronto, and I respect Allard. He's pitched well this year. He's been good, but I respect Toronto more.
Yeah. The but is exactly what I was thinking too. Like, Allard's good. Like, he could pitch well today. I mean, he's good enough to pitch well. And in worse spots, like against Detroit, he had a lot of Ks, but definitely taking the Toronto side, especially against a lefty like this. Like, they got so much right-handed power.
Gerchek, Vlad, Simeon,
Bichette, Springer, Teoscar, Gritchen, Gurriel. Like,
it's a long list.
Like, they have the best lineup in baseball probably against left-handed pitching. San Diego's right there.
So, I mean, I'm interested in, again, we got some cheaper guys. We don't love the cheaper guys, but I do think they're playable. And even the elite pitchers, like, especially if Wheeler was not on the slate, like, I don't expect Max to have like a monster day. We don't love Corbin Burns or the other guys. So if you could get 10 to 15 out of those cheaper pitchers and Toronto goes off, which we know they can do, it's kind of an interesting build today.
They go off a lot. I mean, we talked about them on Thursday night for the Friday night slate, and they went off.
They're really good.
Vlad had 2 homers. I mean, they're really good. Yep.
We didn't really touch on Ryu at all either against Texas. I guess he's another guy I could see using him. I have very low confidence on him right now. But last start was encouraging.
Yeah, I kind of agree with you. I like him more than the Texas Bats, but I probably won't use him.
All right. Milwaukee against Cincy, Burns against Gray. I mean, again, this is another one. You want to one-off like a Jesse Winker 4,100. All right. He's definitely slowed down like considerably, but we know the upside's there. I think Colton Wong is affordable, but ultimately I like the pitchers in this game more than the hitters, and I'll probably mostly just not touch this game.
Yeah, agreed. It does look like Burns is getting a lot of love right now.
Okay.
You said something when I mentioned about how they didn't have the DK scores up with the San Diego game. Are they also playing a doubleheader or something, or suspended game?
I don't know.
Okay. Okay.
I mean, I don't love Burns here, but again, also like if Wheeler's scratched, I could see why people would use him. He has definitely lost some of his luster. He's still, a good pitcher, but he had a great start against Arizona. A lot of people do. Other than that, he's been very blah for a long time now. So, I mean, fine, but I'm not excited about it.
I'm not excited about it either. And yeah, they are playing a suspended game.
Okay.
Like the San Diego I'm referring to. So I don't know what's going on with these games. I'm going to have to look at it a little bit deeper when we're done making the video. Good thing we got a little bit early.
All right. So people are going to Minnesota today. Is it wow, Cruz definitely ratchet up there. I get it. I like the Detroit half better.
Yeah, I'd never like chalky twins.
Yeah, I think that's been the theme of this year. And it's no different today. Hap was all right last time out. I know you're not a J-Hap fan at all, and he's actually given you no reasons to become a fan of his this year. He gives up plenty of power. You can get some cheap Tiger bats. Akil Baddoo leading off. Grossman, batting in the 3-hole at 3,200. Like, I don't think they're like a great play, but they got a lot of affordable bats. And if you like, say, Toronto, and they're expensive, throw in a couple of Detroit bats in there for cap savings over Kansas City could work. Or pair with a couple of KC guys.
Some KC guys are expensive too, which I was hoping was going to keep their ownership down a little bit, to be honest. Like Carlos Santana's 5,300. I don't know how many
Carlos
people.
and Salvador are all expensive.
Like, I'm hoping that keeps their ownership down a little bit. Even like the bottom of their guys, like Nicky Lopez, who's been good lately, is 3,500. We'll get there, but yeah, I get you liking Detroit here more. I probably do too, just based on ownership. But I don't really know if I would just want to go to offense in this game. If I did, it would be the Detroit side. I'm with you.
Yeah, I think for me, the biggest one would be like Baddoo leading off at 3,400.
Mm-hmm. He runs also.
Yeah. Grossman in the 3-hole. Again, I'm not like selling my soul to get to Detroit, but
it's a cheap stack with upside in this spot. I get it.
All right, Tampa against Atlanta. I do think another interesting one-off. Like, good. I like Rich Hill, but he's very pedestrian. Freddie Freeman is hot.
Yeah, he is real hot. I think this game is full of a couple good one-offs. Not necessarily teams I want to stack, but talk about Freeman. Definitely, he's on fire right now. Then a guy that's called up that just got called up by the Rays. That's like not quite Wander Franco, but like right on the next level is Vidal Brujan. He's leading off today. He's real cheap. I think he's like second base now. Outfield eligible. 2,500 leading off. Like, I'm all about it here.
Yeah, it doesn't take long to change an 83 batting average either when you don't have many at bats. So 2 hits today, and all of a sudden he's batting over 200.
Yeah, exactly. It's not like guaranteed, but this is a kid that he's in a good spot leading off on the road, and he's only 2,500, and he's raked throughout his entire minor league career. Doesn't mean he's going to today, and he might get pinch hit for, but I think he might also be a switch hitter, and if he rakes, I doubt he gets pinch hit for.
He's a switch hitter.
Yeah, so I mean, I think you're good probably there too. That's such a nice advantage.
What's that?
That's such a nice advantage when a guy like that is a switch hitter. Like, that makes me like him even that much more. I know he'll be owned, but now it's like, man, will he be high enough owned? You know what I'm saying?
For sure. Rodon against Valdez. I'm not really interested in the pitchers here, but I'm not really trying to get to the offenses either. This is mostly just going to be the ignore spot for me personally.
If you had to choose, what would it be? Like, which side? Rodon, the Astros, Valdez, the White Sox? Which would be your favorite?
Probably the Astros offense because I think they're good, and I think that they take enough pitches that you might get Rodon out of the game by halfway through it.
Yeah, that's a good point. I agree with that call as well. I mean, if I were making enough lineups, I would use some Houston just because, like you said, they're really good. And then as far as the White Sox go, I don't love them, but they got going yesterday. They have guys that can hit lefties. So it's one-offs like Abreu homered yesterday, Tim Anderson. I don't hate those guys.
I agree. All right, so let's get to this game because it's a big one. Baltimore against Kansas City. We've kind of alluded to it already. You got Matt Harvey, who's 7.7 ERA and whip of 1 3/4 are, well, they're not good. He's not good. Why he's still pitching, I don't know. We talk about it every slate, but he's still out there, as we mentioned. Like, it's hard not to love Perez today. The only thing you don't love is the price. He's really good. Top power hitting catcher so far this season. He's come out of the break with 2 multiple hit games already. If you can get him into your lineup, he's the best catching option of the day.
Agreed. I mean, the Royals are my favorite stack. This is one, like, I might just eat ownership and, like, get different elsewhere. Whether it be pitching or my secondary stack. But, yeah, give me all the KC. They're going to light up Harvey today. I mean, that's just how I feel.
Harvey sucks. Anytime you think they're going to light up Harvey, whatever team it is, it's hard to argue that. So, I mean, if they're going to be popular, I guess that's the biggest argument against them. That also, like, KC's not great.
Yeah, that is the argument against them. They're not great. I mean, I think they will be over-owned, like, for their chances of succeeding. Like, but I just like them a lot. You know what I mean? And, excuse me, I also do think, like, some guys will be high-owned, probably like Jorge Soler, Benintendi, but will Carlos Santana at 5,300 be high-owned? I don't think so. You?
I guess that's just, what's your definition of high-owned? I mean, if I had to just guess today, 15%.
Yeah, he's coming in actually, at like 13%, but that's the highest owned first baseman, which is, man, like, if this holds up, like, Vlad at under 1%, like, give me the Blue Jays over the Royals. As much as I like Kansas City, like, man, that's maybe who I'd pair him with. Maybe I'd pair KC with Toronto and use Hernandez and one of those, good pitchers. Because when you use a 4K pitcher like that, it helps so much get you expensive bats.
Yeah, as we talk through this, I can tell you that I'm going to have at least a Blue Jay stack. Get them low on like this. There's just so much upside. Again, I respect Colby Allard, but he's in over his head today.
I feel like we've been good on right on the Blue Jays a bunch also.
Well, I've been wrong on them a few times too, but I also pick them a lot. So
yeah,
the odds are it's going to be right sometimes and wrong sometimes. They're so good.
Yeah,
exactly. I just usually try to find the days where they're under-owned because they have a mediocre matchup, which they can clearly get to.
Yep, I'm with you all the way around that.
So you mentioned some of the Baltimore bats as well getting some love. Any specific bats from Baltimore you like? I mean, they're very cheap most of the time.
Yeah, no. This is one I'm going to go with Hernandez here. And, I know he's not that good. I should say, though, it's not like I expect a complete game shutout from him, and he could obviously get hit. So, yeah, I get the stack for sure. They're another one of these cheap stacks. Santander, DJ Stewart.
2,300 Santander, 2 walks yesterday.
All these guys, like Santander, Ramon Urias. I mean, they had a bunch of good performances yesterday. And they're all cheap as hell. So this is like a Scherzer and Wheeler stack.
Definitely. And with a guy like a Santander, if you wanted to, say, stack Toronto and you used Hernandez, for example, you can still use Santander because, again, like you said, you're not trying to get a complete game shutout out of him. You're trying to get 10 points.
Amen.
So, and he's cheap. He's 2,300. Even if you use cheap pitchers, if you want to get Vlad and Simeon and Bichette, you still need to pay down in some spots.
Definitely.
All right, Johnny Cueto against Wade LeBlanc. It's like it's 2012 all over again.
Yeah. I don't know.
I'm clearly not using the pitchers here, but Neither of these offenses really almost ever excite me either. Like the San Francisco Giants are a good baseball team. The record proves that. But like their offense is just, it's not the sexiest thing for DFS.
No, it's not. They're in a pretty good spot here, though. So, like, you know, there's other spots I like more. I don't think I'll use San Diego here, but or San Francisco, excuse me. But like, you know, guys like Flores, I think are fine one-offs. I more or less agree with you, though.
Yeah, it's just, I don't know. It's just not very sexy for me. I definitely like Toronto more. I think this game could work out in so many different ways that I probably just stay away from it.
Do you think Toronto's your favorite stack on the board?
Yeah. Yeah, it is. They're so high on their upside. They run, they hit for power. The ballpark is great. The guys are good. And if you're telling me they're coming in low owned like this, I mean, give me all the Toronto I can get to, and I'll take my chances on pitching.
Do you think they'll really be low owned like that?
I don't think they'll be chalk. I mean, I don't think you ever really get the Toronto guys at 1%, but I mean, I do think you're going to get them.
When you get these price tags like this, though, especially with the expensive pitching, like, I mean, people are not going to use Carlos Hernandez or Peralta on this slate.
No, or even the guys in the mid tier that we kind of mentioned. For me, it was Smiley. You know, you kind of mentioned like a Sonny Gray is like maybe your SP1 for the day.
The guys people are going to use are Musgrove, Wheeler, Scherzer, Burns.
Yeah, and I mean, I like Wheeler, but like I just don't expect Burns or Scherzer to break the slate. Like they could be good, but I'm not scared of 30 spots from them today. And I really wouldn't be surprised if they were both under 20 today.
Yeah, I'm with you. I have zero arguments.
San Diego's really, really good, and I love Max Scherzer, but I don't see him coming with a 35 today. I just don't see it.
Don't see him coming with a 35 today. Man, that's a tough one. You know, I obviously would take the under on 35, but
well, yeah,
I see it happening more than you do, I guess.
I'll take the under on 35 for any pitcher in any start ever. Jacob deGrom, long leash, going up against the worst team in baseball. I'm still probably going to bet under on 35, so it's an aggressive statement.
Like Scherzer has not been like, you know, the automatic like best pitcher in the majors. Like he's still, you know, amazing. Like look, I mean, but you know, he's averaging 24 DK points per game, well under 35. You know what I mean? Like clearly.
For me, the big thing, like and again, we're two of the biggest Max fans in the world. Like this, in the last 2 months, he's got one start with double-digit strikeouts. You used to see his game log, half of them would have double-digit strikeouts. He has one.
Yeah, you're right. So, I mean, I like him here, but it's more of a gut call, more of a hunch, I guess.
Yeah, and I can get on board with it. I love Max Scherzer. He had a bad start against San Diego the other day. You don't think that he's bringing his best stuff today?
Yeah, I'm with you. And I will say, just talking about those Orioles guys, the top three, sorry to just switch it up on you, but the top three projected honed outfielders are Mullen, Santander, and Hayes. So they are getting a lot of love, yeah.
So the Royals and O's offenses get a lot of love, and they both make a lot of sense. The counterpoint we like to bring up for stuff like this is both of those offenses aren't good. So even though the pitchers aren't good, the offenses aren't very good either. So if you just want to try to avoid some of the chalkier offenses, like could you not see Kansas City, Baltimore just ending the game being like 5-3 and like nothing special goes on? But if you find the right offense that you could clean up on the slate.
Yeah, I could certainly see that for sure. Like you said, if just these cheaper pitchers can get you like 15, I mean, if Hernandez can go 4 innings and like not allow anything, just please take him out of the game.
Yes, when you're sitting there with like 11 points after the 14, you're like, I'm good, get him out, I'm staying. This is like a 16 on blackjack when there's a 10 showing. I know maybe I could hit it, but I don't even want to take the chances.
I never hit 16s. I never
You don't?
Never. Like, I play blackjack like you either hit them or you don't. I never hit 16s. I play for the dealer to bust. I know. Probably a little different than you'd think, but that's just how I play blackjack. I play for the dealer to bust.
Yeah. Fair enough. I haven't played blackjack in a long time. I played way too much blackjack when I was in high school. The casino around here was 18 plus, and I used one of my buddy's IDs to get in there when we were like 17. We were going like every day after school. So, I mean, obviously, when we talk about this stuff for a living, you know, I try to caution people, like gambling addiction is like a real thing. And if you need help, go get it. I definitely could have used some help in high school. I squandered so much money playing blackjack in high school.
Yeah, don't let my wife hear this right now. We should probably get off. I will say, before we do one random call out, I'm just going to say I think both of them are going to homer today. Both Gurriel brothers, Lourdes and WILY. WILY crushes lefties, is 3-9 off Rendon. Gut call. I think they both homer.
All right. It's Gurriel Sunday here at the 5-pack.
Let's get it.